Hello everybody, Cecil188 here, as I'm sure you've guessed. I've recently gotten a fair amount of interest in my Esper allocator. At least 3 people have asked me about it, and basically I guess I figured it's time to make a video to show it off, and then perhaps put it on Dropbox or something somewhere. Might get around to that later. For now, it's just going to be on the Beyond Chaos Discord, so if you're on that, great. If you're looking at this video from elsewhere, then I'll get it to you separately. But anyways, let's just get right into it. I'll go over what this Esper allocator does, and actually first I'll go over what it doesn't do. And this Python file does not modify your ROM in any way. So it won't ask for your .smc or .sfc file. It will not actually change the file that the emulator runs that you play on. It runs completely independently of that, for better or for worse. What it does do is it generates text for you to use, and some sample text from my current seed is listed over here on the right in this notepad file here. That's just one example of what it can generate. So I'll go into it right now. Right now it's only a .py file. If there's interest, I might make an .exe file for it, but it works better as a .py file because you can just copy and paste the text from what it generates. Of course, that comes with its own problems, like managing everything related to Python. But for now, I'll just leave it as a .py file, and I'll go from there. So what it does is first it'll ask you what character slot your mime is in. Now, if you're playing Party Party, this will always be 13 because Gogo is the 13th character in the game. And then basically what you will do is every time you get a party member, if, say, your Terra looks like your Ghost, you will put Ghost in brackets here, and then that way you'll be able to keep track of which character is which. If you're not playing Party Party, which is apparently the minority, you can scroll down and you can see, oh, Gogo looks like Gogo. I'll use a different example. In this case, pretend that your mime looks like Sabin, then you will put in number 6. And then what it will do is it will not give any espers to Sabin, and it'll instead randomize it for the rest of the characters. And this way you can just go off by the appearance of the character, but that only works if you're not playing Party Party. So if you're playing Party Party, I'll just run as if you're doing that. So that'll be 13. Next, it'll ask you if you're playing an Ancient Cave type mode. This is because in Ancient Cave you can have Odin and Raiden at the same time, so it's useful to randomize them differently. If you are not playing an Ancient Cave type mode, you will only ever get one of Odin or Raiden, and so I've decided that for balancing, I would just make it so that the same character gets Odin and Raiden, because otherwise it ends up being, if one person is Odin, one person is Raiden, I basically pick based on who has magic, and that's not a very interesting decision, so I give them both to the same person. If that character does not have magic, then it's generally better to pick based on the stat bonus. And if they do have magic, it's better to pick based on what spells it is taught, but the stat bonus also plays a factor into it. If you don't like doing that, if you do want to randomize them separately, you can just pretend that you're playing Ancient Cave, and I'll randomize them separately, and then, yeah, it's all fine. So most people don't. Now, it'll print out a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, because I put Gogo here in the character slot that the mime is, Gogo has not received any espers. So, and that will always happen. Whoever you remove from the list will not get any espers here. Cyan also doesn't have any espers. That's just a coincidence. It never picked 3, so Cyan didn't get any of them. And then basically you can just take this and copy paste the result into your text file, and then whenever you're equipping espers, you can refer to this to see which espers each character can equip. And a lot of times they might go without espers for a while. For example, Locke has Palador, so if Locke shows up at the beginning of the game, if he's like, say, your Celeste or something, then he will not have an Esper until you get Palador. And that's just how it goes sometimes. So with that in mind, you may be asking, why would I even do this? And the answer is, it makes it a bit harder. Naturally, a lot of people have less spells, but it makes it harder in a way that is not obnoxious. So And because you may have noticed that if you play this game a lot of times when you get towards the end of the game, your best characters are just whoever has magic. If they have magic, they're good. If they don't have magic, they're bad. It doesn't really matter what any other commands are, unless it's something super awesome like Wild Bear or Magitech with Hyperdrive in it or something. Otherwise, it's just whoever's magic is broken, and whoever doesn't have magic can clean the Falcon for the rest of the game. The other reason is that a lot of times you may be finding yourself using the same strategies against bosses because it is so magic centric. Like if you get to the world of Ruin, fight Doomgaze as soon as you can, and Bahamut teaches you Ultima, you now just spam Ultima for the rest of the game because you probably already have Osmos by that point. So it's just, this makes it a bit more interesting and varied. You actually have to use all the different strategies that you can come up with. So I think it makes it more varied and more diverse, which is kind of what you're going for in a randomizer. You're just trying to make things as different as possible and come up with new and creative strategies. And I think this helps rebalance the magic command so that it's still a good command, but it's not as broken and it's not the end all be all of commands because magic spans so much status ailments, healing, damage that it can basically do anything. Somebody shows up with like most commands, most standalone commands, you can just beat that with magic. If they show up with a magic command in their list, it's like, wow, that's just worse than magic. So I think this is better overall. There's something else I wanted to say about this, but must not have been that important. So I'll leave it at that, I suppose. I'll again, if you're not on the Discord and you want to actually use this, I can make a Dropbox file for it, and then you can just download it from there. But for now, that's it. I'm out. See you next time.